Oh, Nick, wait. What do you see as the issue here?
The issue of...
I mean, why are you here?
Why am I here?
Yeah, what should be interesting to this class?
Oh, okay. I just got to check.
Why did you apologize to the voice?
Why did I apologize to the voice?
Yes, your apology completely kicks the crap out of you.
Yeah.
You could stand up as an artist. You were doing what you were doing. The voice understood it. If they didn't understand it, they were... But in fact, they did understand it, and they were just pandering to a whole bunch of people who were yelling and screaming about a new form of art that they weren't recognizing. I'm an artist, and I'm here, and I'm proud of it, and the hell with apologizing. Why did you apologize? It's
really difficult to be the bigger man, or to be the man, sort of. If you're when you have a rent to pay, when you have the most incredible girl you ever met, sort of in New York with you, and when you sort of want to take her to nice dinners every once in a while, and when your entire life is in the city, and when it sounds for a second that these are the steps that we have to take to keep me on, because it wasn't that they fired me after this piece ran. They suspended me, and it was as if I really felt like, to an extent, they understood the mistake I made as a formal error, but it really, especially with all the rigmarole there with the changing ownership and things like that.
The mistake. That's the issue, isn't it? Whether it was a mistake. I mean, it's not like a trivial thing that you make up interviews. It must either be an assertion of some form of art on your part, or it's some form of cheat. And so it's not a mistake. Do you feel that you made a mistake by making up the interviews?
Making up the... No, I didn't make up the... I didn't make up the interviews in that... What interviews are you talking about? Because there are interviews that are made up, and then there are interviews that aren't made up.
So I think he's referring not to the actual interview part of that article, but to the sort of, I don't know what you call it, but the part that discusses your friends, and it's not actually an interview part, but there is this sort of fabricated stuff that happened that's in that article.
The mistake I made, very, 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 very short, is that the person whose last name was in the piece it made it into the piece. That's one mistake, and then the second mistake is that I really just didn't think this piece through. I really would have liked to have more, really thought about my intentions a little bit more, and talk to people about making them clearer. It was the longest piece I had ever written, and I was way in over my head, and I screwed up.
So let me just have a try at stating the issue.
I apologize for sort of panicking like that.
Don't apologize. We're sick of apologies.
Okay.
Enough apologies. So, to me, what's fascinating is that you're someone who plays with the truth as a part of your art, and you move from an environment like the Lampoon, where nobody takes it as serious, in the sense of fact-checked accurate, into an environment that starts to approach mainstream media like The Voice. And you, in your sense, make a mistake, but if I get the nuanced sense of your mistake, it has to do not with the idea that there's something the matter with playing with the truth as a matter of art, but if you are going to be someone who does that, I sense in you a feeling of responsibility that you need somehow not to do any damage, like the friends whose names get left in. And you can't be too far out of tune with the expectations of the institution that you're working with. If you get too far out of tune, it's rebellion as opposed to the tickle that an artist is able to get away with. And so somehow you're positing a zone, the possibility of a zone in which you come to be understood in the way Dean's artist has come to be understood, or the way Colbert has come to be understood, or Numbers of people establish themselves. And yet at the same time, if you turn it around to our point of view on the user's side, it's saying what Rebecca was saying at the beginning. That is, if we're going to be discriminating consumers of a spectrum of media that run all the way from the New York Times on one end, where, yes, you would get fired outright, through to the blog world on the other, it's going to be up to us to make some judgments about what's true and what's not true, and how much we care about the truth, and how much we'll pursue questions we have about the truth. That's the responsibility that we wind up with. Does that?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that in crafting that responsibility, in crafting that relationship with the reader, in my head, I have to be responsible about that. I can't just sort of like, hey, like I know I'm at Yale Law School today, like on my blog, like check it out, and I have to, exactly as you said, I have to tickle, and I feel like in response, like the mistake I made with that piece, it was that it was very sloppy, and it didn't tickle. It didn't know what it was doing, and that, I guess that's sort of what I wanted to get at, was that it was a very sloppy version of, like to put it negatively, like my shtick is not making shit up. Like it's not that I don't think that's what my shtick is. I think it's a little bit more nuanced, and I'm sort of thrilled that I don't know exactly what like the ins and outs of it, because otherwise I think I'd get bored myself.
Uh-huh.